Going live. Hi, welcome. This is the CaddyInfo.com Cadillac chat. We're starting a little bit late for technical difficulties as we try to wrestle our sound to work properly. So if it seems like we're ships passing in the night, then that's what's going on. Is it's still not working fully perfectly. I have with me Air Mike from the forums.
Hola.
Hola, welcome. So I got an interesting email from our friends over at Crest. They've built a new showroom, Crest Cadillac. They built a new showroom across town, and they sent me a note and said, would you like to come Sunday morning and have breakfast with us and help us drive the cars over to the new showroom?
And of course your response was?
That sounds like fun, right? As they said, you know, what you do is drive to the new showroom, and I'm sure they're inviting, you know, all the regular customers, right? But drive to the new showroom, and then we'll shuttle you over to the old showroom, and you can drive one car across town, or you can stay and drive all day, whatever you want to do. They probably have 100 or 150 cars in stock, right? So I don't know what their total stock is, but yeah, I guess I'm surprised that they don't come bring trucks to move them. In the auto business, you'd think they would move them 10 at a time on trucks. But I think this is kind of a fun way to get people to come see your new showroom, right?
Yeah, it would seem like a good way. How many people do they send that to?
Oh, probably everybody they knew, and then hope somebody, and hope they have some takers. It's Sunday morning at 8, so that part's not convenient. You know, people are available then, and the store is closed then, so I get that part. But a lot of people have church Sunday morning,
right.
So I might be able to wedge that in though, because I think I'm supposed to be over at the church at 10, so maybe I could go to that at 8 and then run across town to the thing and talk to those guys about the next car I'm looking for.
If I wasn't so far away, I'd be volunteering.
Yeah, I got to send them an RSVP to tell them I will. I would like to come. So what's going on in Mike Cadillac land?
I'm getting cement poured.
Well, that's what we heard last time. What's the cement pour plan?
Well, when I built my shop, I didn't ever pour cement driveway approach, and I just decided I had the money now, and so they poured part of it last week, and this week they finished. It's about all poured now. Now,
can they pour a permanent ramp so that we'd have an oil change place on the way into the garage?
I suppose I could have done that, but I have a lift, so that wasn't part of the plan.
Oh, okay. Well, good. And the wife probably would vote against it as tacky outside the the garage. So, well, yeah, you're going to have an even nicer spot then.
I need to change oil on one of them cars right now, so this will be good to get back in there.
Now, Cadillac said this week they believe small stores should probably become catalog stores, virtual outlets, so that when you go to a very small store, they wouldn't have one of each model or 5 of each model. They would just have brochures and computer screens.
Yeah, I don't like that.
What do you think about that? You know, basically order stores. Because that saves them a ton of money in holding costs, right?
Yeah.
When you come in, they're unlikely to have every color and every, you know, when I go over to Crest, they've got 35 different CTSs on the lot, right? But a small store isn't going to have all that.
Personally, I wonder what they describe as small. You know, their description of small.
Well, I'm sure it has to do with how many cars they sell a year.
Right.
And then that's the trade-off with, because if you have, you know, a Cadillac dealer, they still have more Cadillac dealers than probably they need. And because, you know, there was a Cadillac dealer in every little town everywhere or nearby. Now that's great for maintenance, but it's not good for store profits. What the model is the fewer stores you have, the more profitable each one is.
I was over to Joplin 2 weeks ago and just drove through, and Granted, I don't really think I'm in the market yet for quite yet for one, but you know, they're much more apt to get me to actually buy one when they have one there and I can see it in person versus just online or something.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. Cars are a passionate purchase, right? Now, and what's
Right.
the advantage of going in the dealer at all? You know, how would that be a better virtual environment than me sitting at home shopping on Cadillac.com? I think that would be their challenge, right? Is how do you make being at the dealer a more complete experience than just shopping online? So they'd
Right.
have to have like some real simulator, or they'd have to, have to have a 3D experience that I can't get at home.
Well, you can't. You could let's say you're shopping for XLR, or I mean XTS V Sport, like I might be, and you can't compare. You can't just go sit in XTS. They may have a basic STS, locally, and
But
you
it's
can't.
not the same seats, right? Yeah,
It's
just
not
like
gonna.
this V Sport Premium I'm looking for, it has different seating services than the average CTS or the average V Sport, because it's a V Sport Premium, and that's one of the differences. And so if
Right.
that's what you want to tell, is show me the. So, but if they had some kind of advanced 3D simulator where it's like you're sitting in the car, only you're not, right?
Right.
You're not going to be able to touch the surfaces, but you could get a much better impression if they had, a holodeck.
Right. That surely costs a lot of money, wouldn't it?
Well, but auto dealerships already cost a ton of money, right?
Right. I
I
guess
mean, they are expensive places.
the simulator would be a one-time purchase, I guess.
Yeah, compare it with carrying costs for 50 cars for a year,
Right.
and it becomes reasonable.
Have you looked at the Ats-V Specs? What read
Yes.
about them?
Yes.
I just did a couple of days ago and was astounded to see one run a 1210 quarter mile
Yes.
with the V6. I think that's just beyond awesome.
V6 turbo. Yeah. Now, I think they're gun decking on that car. I think that car is capable. That engine is capable of making much more power. And what they've done is they've tuned it for low end torque.
I also watched one that they claimed it was a cold air and a tune run 1170.
Exactly. As I think, yeah, that because when they said those cars are getting about 2% more horsepower per pound of boost, and they should be getting about 4% more horsepower per pound of boost. So I think what's happening is the turbos are actually too small. In other words, they're doing early torque at the expense of top end power. But you're supposed to have the advantage with the twin turbo because you have two turbos that you can size them small, right? And then
Right.
it won't run out of steam at the top end. But I think that the other thing that they've done, based on how much power the aftermarket is getting from them, because people are getting like 80 horsepower from improvements from tunes, which suggests that Cadillac's taking a ton of power out of it to make it not run out from under people. So it's an interesting car. But yeah, what they did with that one versus the V Sport is the V Sport has 12 psi, and the LF3 and the LF4 they redesigned it for more power, and it's got 18 psi. Oh, my video's freezing sometimes. I wonder what I have going on in the background. Let me go close some things. My websites that are running in the background must be running video. Bad websites.
These engines you were just talking about were all ATS motors, not CTS.
Yeah, the twin turbo V6, the 3.6 liter twin turbo that's in the V Sport and the XTS V Sport is called the LF3.
Okay.
And when they went to make an engine for the Ats-V, they redesigned the LF3 into the LF4. They actually gave it a new name, but what they did is they gave it more power. You know, they turned up the boost 6 pounds and then did some other hot rodding to it as well. And so it goes from 420 horsepower up to 464 horsepower.
Right.
But I think it's the equivalent of an engine making around 525 horsepower, except it doesn't have the top end. So in other words, it's like it's ready to make 525 horsepower, but doesn't have enough turbo at the top end.
Well, if I haven't mixed my apples and oranges, I believe they said the car was capable of 200 miles an hour.
That's the new CTSV. We'll go 202 or something. So that's the 640 horsepower supercharged V8, which is called the LT4. So you have the LF4 turbo V6 and the LT4 supercharged V8. Now,
the ATS doesn't have a V and a V Sport, correct?
No, it has only a V. There's no Ats-V Sport. The CTS had a V Sport that was kind of a placeholder until the CTS-V came back, you know, on the new chassis. And so they're probably just sell out of what they have of the CTS-V Sport and focus on the CTS-V and the Ats-V. But that makes the CTS-V Sport kind of a hidden jewel for buying it half off, right? They cost $70,000 new, and they're running in the low 40s right now. So that's why the V Sport. That's why that one's interesting to me. I love the Ats-V in person, but there's because it just came out. There's not one around that's a year or two old with 10,000 miles on it for half off.
Right.
So.
Right. I like the looks of the ATS a lot.
I like the looks of the ATS. I love the size of the ATS. When I drive my wife's ATS 2-liter turbo, it drives like a go-kart. She always looks at me like, why is that a good thing? Why would you say that about my car? But it's a fun little car to drive is the point I'm making is, you know, it doesn't have near the power of the STSV, but it's a fun car to drive. And so if you gave it the same power as the STSV, but in a lighter footprint in a smaller, more agile car, that's all win, right?
Right. And now they have, but it's still
now
brand new.
They made the car for me. That car was made for me. But yeah, I'm a little shy about spending $80,000 on a car.
Yeah. They need to have it in the showroom so when you go test drive it.
Yeah. Maybe I can drive that one across town on Sunday.
There you go. Do they have some there?
I think they had a V Sport there a weeks ago that I meant to go and talk to them about, even though it was silver, but now they've sold it. Now I don't see it on their page. So, but I need to call them and say, you know, I'm kind of in the market for a V Sport. And so keep an eye out for if they see one. Because I tried to buy my car from them last time, and it just didn't work out. You know, I always end up with, I want to buy it for nothing, and they only have ones that are more.
So a V Sport, you're talking about a CTS.
The V Sport's a CTS. I wish there was an ATS V Sport, but there's not. And so the CTS is a little bit larger, you know, and slightly heavier, but it's very light in the new chassis. But that's the big advantage of getting the CTS V Sport is it's got all the gadgets. And the only thing the Ats-V would not have that wouldn't be as good as the CTS-V Sport is the dash on the CTS-V Sport Premium is that one that I was talking about that it's just a computer screen. It's it's a programmable, customizable dash. And even in the Ats-V, they didn't put that dash in there. It still has the semi-programmable dash. Okay. And by that, I mean, instead of it just being a video display, their dials, there are 3 different gauges, and in the middle of the gauges, they have little selectable video displays, but you can't reprogram the whole dash. You can't choose from 5 different built-in dashes or program your own.
Right.
Like in the V Sport.
And all that would be wasted on me. I might like it, but
You'd like it if we fiddled with it, right?
I just get in my car. My XLR, I haven't even explored all whatever it can do. I just get in it. I just get in it and drive it and enjoy the power. That's all I'm interested in, I guess.
So here would be the question. For the difference in cost, would you rather have a CTS-V Sport and an XLR, or would you rather have an ATS-V?
And no XLR?
And no XLR.
Oh, I couldn't give up the XLR personally.
Yeah, that's kind of the money difference, right? Is would you rather have this one for 44 or that one for 70? Is trading in the other, go sell the other car and just have one, in other words, trade in my STSV, trade in my XLR and a stack of cash, and then I could probably stretch and get an ATS-V with the performance data recorder, which must have, right? Because
yes.
that'll let me track video out of the car and upload it to CaddyInfo. So it's a website expense.
Yes, it's a must-have. That's for sure.
It's a must-have. So and that would get me back to one car in the garage. But in terms of value, I'm thinking I would miss the convertible on summer days.
Yeah, personally, I can't see me getting rid of the XLR for any. I don't know what.
It's a keeper. It's like trading your wife that you just don't plan to.
Right.
So that's the trade-off. But yeah, I loved the ATS-V. When I went to pick up my wife at the airport a few weeks ago, they had a ATS-V sitting there. Sewell had an ATS-V sitting there in the airport to show people. And yeah, I love the look of it. It's the right size for me. It's got an interesting engine. But yeah, now the third competitor in my mind is still a 2014 CTS-V with the LSA, 556 horsepower, like Texas Jim's car, but a 2014 model.
Like Cadillac Jim or.
Yeah, like Cadillac Jim. Yeah.
Right. Yes, and those cars going to have to be cheaper now that the latest and the greatest is out. These are going to become passe or whatever.
Well, but where they're hovering is mid 40s. By the time you get a 2014 with 10,000 miles on it, they're mid 40s. So
soon to change though.
Yeah, but the CTS-V Sport would have all the cool electronic gadgets and the new latest Bluetooth and the better dash. But it has 420 horsepower instead of 556. Yeah. And so it's the same trade-off I made when I got the STS-V as I wanted, except with the STS-V, you got the better electronics and it was $10,000 less. So it made more sense to me.
Than a CTS.
Than a CTS-V at the time.
Right.
And so for $10,000, I'll have to live with 469 horsepower.
Right. But for $10,000, you can buy a lot of aftermarket for that car.
Yeah, there's a limited aftermarket, but that's what I did is I spent more money on it and put the exhaust and put the intake, and now it makes about 500 horsepower. And Cadillac Jim, likes to say that it seemed very, very similar to his experience of driving his car, running around in my car when we were shopping for his car. But certainly the CTS-V has more power and weighs about the same. So it would get the nod in performance.
Right.
But yeah, that's the three-way contest is wait another year until you can get an ATS-V used. Go and trade and get a CTS-V Sport, or go and trade and get a CTS-V. That's kind of the hover. Now my car's got 79,000 miles on it, and I do 15,000 miles a year. So I could go another year, even though I'd been, I was planning to trade this car last year. But
you're talking about the STS now, right?
The STS-V.
Yes.
Yeah. It's not going to trade for a ton of money because people shop it as an STS instead of, a cool handmade one of 469 supercharged V8.
Right. It's just like the XLR. A lot of people don't realize what it is.
Exactly. So that's I don't expect that it's going to trade for a bunch of money because or I'd have to sell it, find somebody who's looking just for that car and sell it as a boutique item. And I can't, I have room for it, but there's a limited amount of time I want to have one more car in the yard, so to speak.
Right.
We have other things going on. That would make it too obvious to my wife that I'm just wasting money on cars. So I'd rather it be a little more mysterious than that.
Oh yeah. But the dealers know though. They know that car is special.
Yeah, not when you go to trade it, they don't.
Well, that's just because that's their way of ploy. I mean, they're not going to admit it.
No, I do think that I could do that, right? Go over and talk to them and say, and the guys at Crest know me, but go over and talk to them and say, if I can get this much on the STSV and can, or get this kind of delta on between that and the CTSV Sport, then I can go ahead and do that now. And if I can't, then I need to wait a year and get an ATSV and see how much they want to sell their V Sport.
I was thinking I wanted to get an XTS
V Sport, Platinum,
right,
all-wheel drive.
But the performance discrepancy is ginormous between those cars.
Between the CTS and the XTS, or between the XTS V Sport and the ATSV?
Between any of the V cars and an XTS V Sport.
Yes.
Although, 1350 or 60 or whatever, it runs real good, but I'm not really inclined to go backwards in the power department.
Well, there's two things. There's two reasons why I would want an XTS V Sport. One is it's available in all-wheel drive. Okay, so if I live somewhere where there's weather and I want it all-wheel drive. The other is it has more back seat. So right. if you want a nice full-size car with a plentiful back seat, then it's going to be a little more hip room than the CTS is. The CTS is kind of a slender sedan.
Right. The ATS is the smallest of them all, and also the one I like the looks of the best. But my wife is particularly after a car that we can put people in the back in.
Yes.
Mustang don't work. And
now the Escalade is what you want.
Well, she's not for an Escalade. She's completely against those for some reason.
Now the gas has come down, she may have changed her mind.
No, she's just not into truck platform at all.
Oh, that's just a shame. But the Escalade is a wonderful drive, and especially if you're carrying other people, then right. It's very well set up for that, and it's very well isolated. So it's a good town car and it's a good highway car. Oddly enough, you'd think it wouldn't be, but it is. But yeah, by the time you get a 14 CTSV, then they want $50,000 for it. A used one goes from 50,000 up to 70,000. So
and those Escalades people want them.
Oh yeah, I don't think you're going to get much of a discount on an Escalade at all. But not this week. Right now, people are snapping up SUVs because gas is cheap, and so the time to buy that would have been when gas was expensive, right?
Right.
Yeah, you missed your chance if you could afford to put gas in it.
That's another thing. I looked at the gas mileage on ATS. I think that V, it was 24 on the highway or something.
Yeah.
Better than that CTSV of Jim's era. I drove one of them.
Yeah, and that's the advantage of the twin turbo V6, right? The disadvantage though is you're still down on power. Even at 464 horsepower, it's still down 170 horsepower.
But it's a lighter car by a lot.
Yep, but not by the time you do the twin turbo V6. It gets the weight up to about 3,900, and the CTSV weighs 4,250 or 4,300 in that range. So you're still down power to weight ratio.
What's that latest model CTSV? What's its quarter mile times?
I think it's similar. I think that what's driving the quarter mile times is that wonderful new 8-speed automatic, right?
Right. If
Let's
that,
look,
I
let's
was
look
just
and
blown away
see.
by ATSV's performance. 1210, man. That's way.
Let's see what car and driver thought got for the CTSV. They say 12 seconds flat.
So, how
So
much is
you'd
there
take the
in?
twin turbo V6, wouldn't you? It was
I
a
would.
tenth of a second difference
Yeah.
and 22 miles
I
per
think
gallon.
if I could convince my wife that we can live with a 4-door car and it doesn't have to be the biggest 4-door car, I
Yep.
would be looking for an ATSV.
There you go. So they start at 63, but by the time you get the performance data recorder, then you need to budget, about 82, I think.
Yeah, you can't get the cheapest one out the door for under 70, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, you'd have to special order it. But let's look and see. So the Ats-V Coupe. Would you want a coupe? You don't want a sedan because you want to put people in the back.
Correct. I'm going to have a 4-door.
You're going to have the 4-door. Okay, so let's say build your own. So it starts at 60,000. Okay, so we got the standard trim. That's fine. Now it's got to 61 because it's delivery. You can use a standard. You got to have black paint, black Raven paint. Would you pay extra for jet black? Jet black gets you suede microfiber inserts. It's a different black paint. Leather seating surfaces, suede microfiber inserts with the V carbon fiber interior trim. But it's available later in the year. It doesn't cost anything extra. Oh, never mind. That's the interior. There's not a different. So the difference in the premium exterior, the free black paint is called Black Raven. The premium black paint is called Phantom Gray Metallic. Okay, so you want Black Raven and a black interior. So never mind. Okay, so here's where you run into the problem. I want the luxury package. The luxury package gives you Q and navigation and sport alloy pedals and high intensity discharge lights. I can live without.
Q's not going to come on all ATSVs.
Apparently not. Now that may be misleading. I also need the safety and security package, which gives me all the gadgets. Forward collision alert, lane keep assist, lane change alert, all that stuff. So I want that. Do you want the protection package? Oh, you want the track performance package, right?
I don't know what it is, so I can't answer.
Okay, that's the carbon fiber package, the performance data recorder and video recorder. It gives you a low mass battery, so the light battery, one of those, what do you call it, Optima batteries?
Right, AG.
Yeah, and it deletes the floor mats and the tire inflation kit and the tow hook.
Does it trade it for something?
No, just to save weight.
Huh. I could do without the carbon fiber.
If you get the track package, it kicks out all the luxury stuff. How interesting.
Huh. I'd have to study on all that and probably just find what was on the lot when I went looking.
I think we won't have the track package because we want all the luxury stuff.
Right.
So we can't have the performance data recorder.
Well, you got to have that though.
But you can't because and you want the 8-speed automatic or the manual?
I want a manual.
Okay. Yeah, it saved $2,000 on the manual. No sunroof, right?
That's win-win.
The Recaro performance seats?
And I'm not sure about that one either.
Okay. I like the regular front bucket seats. Okay, so yeah, that got us to 66.
66.
66.
And then you got tax.
Yeah, tax and yeah. But you could probably, get it a little bit cheaper than that, right? I don't know. It's a new car. Say, do you get a supplier discount because of your job?
Yes, actually, I can.
So there you go. So you can probably with tax, you know, maybe get it for 62, and then with tax, you'd be at 65.
But that's buying a new one.
Yeah, it's a brand new one.
Yeah.
But what
Probably.
surprised me about that is I'd have to have all the luxury stuff, and I can't have the performance data recorder.
Can you not special order cars these days to get what you want?
Well, this is a special order, but
I
the
mean,
problem is
you can only get them in packages. You can't get them any other way.
yeah, yeah. When you add the performance data recorder, it takes off the luxury stuff.
So what you have to do is wait till next year because
oh wait, okay. Here's what's going wrong. If you order the track performance package, it gives you a car that's as light as possible. Okay, but you can order the performance data recorder separately for $1,000. So that's what I would do. So that's going to get us to 67.
Right.
So we just don't want the track performance package. The track performance package takes off a whole bunch of stuff. It deletes a whole bunch of stuff, and it deletes all the luxury stuff. So that's literally if you're trying to make a track car, right?
Yeah.
So we don't want that. We want the performance and video data recorder. Record video of your driving experiences, includes data overlays and Cosworth analysis software. Share your own and off-track driving experiences on CaddyInfo, and requires available queue and nav included with the track performance package. So it appears to let us order that separately. So we do certainly want to do that. So that got us to $67,110. So see, I was thinking that this would get to $83,000 the last time I shopped for one of these. So I guess the key is don't get the automatic.
And, yeah. Are you good with the standard?
Yeah. Well, I haven't driven a standard in 20 years, but now I have. My wife is not comfortable driving a standard. On the other hand, my wife won't drive my car for fear that she will hurt it. She won't drive the SCSV at all. Like if I said, take my car, no, she doesn't want to do that because she knows I'm passionate around it, and so she doesn't want to have anything to do with it. Now, do you have to have the Brembo brake calipers painted a different color, red or dark gold?
I don't need that.
I don't need that too.
It doesn't make it go faster.
No. That's my thinking also as well. So and then estimate monthly payments. I think
the carbon fiber business I could do without all that myself too, but you can't get rid of it, I guess, and save money because it comes with that track package.
No, well, we didn't get the track package.
Oh, so we don't have the carbon fiber.
Have the carbon fiber. Okay, so that got us the Black Raven ATS-V, the jet black with the leather seating surfaces and suede microfiber inserts, the 18-inch premium painted wheels, the luxury package, which was all the lane change and all that stuff, the safety and security. I think the safety and security is all the lane change and all that stuff. So the luxury package was the leather seating surfaces and the nav and the queue. And then the cool twin turbo V6, the 6-speed manual, the Sirius XM, the OnStar, the performance data recorder, the front bucket seats, not the Recaro. The Recaros are $2,300. So with the Recaros, it pushed it to $70,000. So that's $5,600 in options for a total of $67,000.
What was I going to ask you? Oh, you suede inserts in your STS. Do you like it?
Yeah. You know, the idea that they're functional. The idea there is when you're going around the track, then they're a little more friction, so you don't slide around on the leather seats.
Same with getting in and out of the car, though. Makes it just a little bit harder to get in and out.
Let's see. They say, who do you want to show it from? Now, they're showing me all local dealers that are somewhere not here. They've got my zip code wrong. They've got the wrong zip code. It defaulted to the wrong zip code. So let's see what the local dealers actually have, because after you build your car, oh no, I put new search. After you build your car, it'll actually let you specify your zip code, and then it will show you what the actual cars near you have on them, how they compare with your selected car, if you will.
Right.
Okay, so we have an exact match at Crest. They have no, it's an 8-speed automatic. Huh. Located, well, I think I lost my build pattern. I hit new search and I think I screwed this up. Okay, so let's go back. Let me see if I can get back to the one we built. Okay, so I've got my $67,000 one. Now I need to view inventory. I may talk myself into an ATS-V yet.
There you go.
I'm going to put in my correct zip code, 75023 for Plano. Oh, okay. So this one says it's an exact match, but it's not an exact match because it's got an 8-speed automatic.
Huh. How much more was the automatic?
$2,000.
I'm not going to say when the time comes, standard transmission is going to be a necessity for me. I like it. I like the idea. I love shifting, but I can live with an automatic when the time came.
Well, I want to deal with Crest. So Crest has got, okay, so let's look at this near match and see exactly what it's got. So they have a $67,000 ATS-V. So let's see what it is. It's the ATS-V standard. So it has it's Black Raven. It has the jet black inserts. It has the Brembo caliper brakes are painted red. It has the 8-speed transmission, the performance data recorder, so that's good. The heads-up display, the Cadillac Q and navigation. So it doesn't have the luxury. It doesn't have the safety, the lane change and all that stuff. That's what
that's something
missing.
you do want.
That's something I do want. I like the lane change and that stuff.
I've not been around it, so I haven't been spoiled by it, I guess. All these cars have heads-up displays.
Yes.
Because I really like that.
Well, yeah, this one has a fully, that's a $400 option, so they added that in this model. So it's $67,000 for the one that they've got, but it doesn't have the safety and security package, and it doesn't have the luxury package. But it does and so it has the automatic transmission, and it doesn't have those packages. So let's see what else Crest has got. Crest has got one at 71 that's also automatic. So it has the power sunroof, which I don't want for $1,000. It's
yes,
crystal white. It does have the safety and security. It does have the luxury. It does have the performance data recorder. So this one's very close. It's just got a $1,000 power sunroof, and it's white. But otherwise, it's the one we were pricing out, and it's 71 because it has the power sunroof. But it's the manual transmission. No, it's an automatic transmission. So it's automatic and sunroof is the only problem.
If the day came and you were actually shopping for one, that power sunroof probably wouldn't keep you away from it.
Well, if they took $1,000 off of it, especially. But the sunroof adds 100 pounds up high.
Oh, well.
So if you're buying a performance car, you don't want the sunroof, right?
Right. I don't want it to start with. I don't want to have any use for it. But
yeah,
if I was out there looking for a used car and that car was there.
If I was looking for a used car, it wouldn't matter, but I'm not going to pay $1,000 extra for a sunroof I don't want.
Right. When you're buying a new.
That's right out.
Right.
Yeah. Then they go all the way up to 79. Crest has one at Massey's. Crest has one at 79. So let's see what's on that one. Of course, it's got the automatic, and it's got the carbon fiber package. It's phantom gray metallic. It's got the dark gold Brembo calipers, the safety and security, the polished wheels, performance data recorder, the Recaro seats, and the luxury package. So that got it all the way up to 80. But yeah, I think what we were looking at, which is 67 for just the options we picked, right? So say that could bring it back into the box, because then I might could stretch to there.
Mike can't stretch to there.
Depending on what they'd have to give me a good trade in on the STSV, and they'd have to want to sell it, right?
Right.
Yeah, and I can get the supplier pricing, which I think would take a few ducats off the price. So if that got me to 62 instead of 67, and if they're willing to take supplier pricing on it, and then if I got, so if I could get it down to $50,000 and the STSV, so would you do that, or would you wait a year and get a used one?
Me, I would wait.
and wait and see if you can get one for 45 instead of 65, right?
Right. It's just a lot of money just to have a new one. And I don't,
Yes.
I don't care about having a new one. It's no big deal to me that it's brand new. The fact that I have to wait a year is the only problem. You know, I'm impatiently wanting one, but not that impatient.
Yes. And we'll find out more as we go, right? But I think the other thing is to go talk to those guys and let them know I'm in the market for one. And so if they get ready to sell one, to call me.
Where are you gonna
if
find
they have
that?
the special sale, that call me. Because I think I'm in that range where I'm going to put the money away, and then when I can find the right one, then but the ATS-V, I want the ATS-V because it's smaller and lighter than the CTS-V Sport. But I was going to compromise and get the CTS-V Sport this time, and then get an ATS-V next time.
I don't know what my compromises are going to be. I've told my wife that I think we're going to just keep getting a newer car after I retire.
Yeah. Yeah, because that way you want to have one new car in the garage, and you got a umpteen car garage anyway.
But I got a place for it, even if I have to make a place for it. But
yeah, and if I was simplifying my life, what I would do is go trade both my Cadillacs and get the ATS-V new, and then keep it for 10 more years, right? I mean, just make it my last car.
And I'd trade my wife's.
I just make it my last car, because I'm going to work maybe 5 more years, put 75,000 miles on it, and then just stop. You know, I wouldn't even have to replace it. I could just drive it for 5,000 miles a year until I don't need a car anymore.
You're not going to put the miles on it once you retire, I guess.
Exactly. That's what my guess is, but who knows?
But what happens when they come up with the newest, latest, and greatest, and you want it? You have to have a reason to have it.
Yeah, there you go. Where's the passion?
Yeah.
What if they come out with the ATS-V Plus next year with a twin turbo V8?
I laughed at that, but who knows what's in the future?
Yes, exactly. Well, they have the twin turbo V8 coming in this for the CT6.
Oh, really?
And so what would keep them from slapping that puppy in? This dual overhead cam V6 twin turbo is a big engine, and so the V8 may slide in there too.
So is that a 2-year down the road deal?
Well, maybe next year. The CT6 is just coming this year. Now, here's the other question, I guess, and this is really a question for you more than for me. Instead of spending $67,000 on an ATS-V, why wouldn't you go spend $53,000 and go get that brand new CT6 with the 2-liter turbo at 3,600 pounds? And then you'd have a big car that your wife would enjoy, and you would be a hero.
Yes, and you would be right back to the performance of an XTS V Sport, right?
Maybe not that good, but yeah, it'd be a 5.3 second car somewhere in there. My
buddy asked me just yesterday, why do you need all that horsepower? How can I answer that? Because I need to pass it.
This is what my friend said to me, right, is we don't have to have the fastest cars anymore.
Well, I'm not going to have the fastest.
I'm not taking my car racing.
Yeah, so, I'm not taking my car racing, but I still want what I want.
Now, the other thing we have added, and I still don't know enough about it, But we added a little engraving machine down at my son's uniform store. So I'm going to be thinking about what else can we do for that for custom engraving. You know, we may offer some CaddyInfo custom engraved items.
What kind of engraving are we talking about?
It's a you know, rotational metal engraving, and it's a computer. It's a Gravotech M20 rotational or diamond drag engraver. And so what you can use this for example, one of the things that I was looking at is, you know, we have our CaddyInfo knives, but we could actually put your initials right here on the knife, or
Okay.
on the blade of the knife along here, or actually have written CaddyInfo along here. But the so I don't know. We're getting it. He's actually getting it to make name tags with. So, you know, you get silver blank metal name tags and actually engrave them with the person's name while they wait, so that you have a nice law enforcement name tag, right?
Okay.
That's the purpose of the machine. But I'm just trying to think of what other CaddyInfo things could we enjoy it for.
Certainly.
and
Speaking of,
that would bring business
did
for him. So
did I mention when I was at Barrett Jackson, they had these stick-on, I say stick-on, but they're letters that you can put on your tires, but they're permanent. They're not coming off.
wow.
So,
And what would you use them for? To spell out CaddyInfo
or put XLR on your
XLRV on your tires? I'd
yeah,
have to
or
get
your
a new
name.
set. I'd have to get a new set every year
Why?
because I get new tires every year.
Every year? You're going to wear them out every year?
About on the
I guess you drive
SVSU.
yours a lot more than I do.
Yeah, 15,000 miles, and the performance tires last about 15,000 miles for me. But
Right.
when I
And I'm
come
not
to a
driving.
corner, I'm not slowing down.
Oh, I recognize the driving style.
Yeah, yeah,
I just don't like mine so much.
yeah. It's the yeah. Well, I only have mine has actually gone down a little bit because my you know, unfortunately my parents have passed away now, and so I don't have that commute to visit them. But you know, I still have a 7.5 mile or 8 mile daily commute each way. But yeah, so I don't think I'm putting as many miles on my car a year now as I was, because we used to occasionally drive to Carolina from Texas also, which would add a couple of thousand miles a year. But now my wife says, no, we're flying. No, we're not driving. So now it's we fly out there and rent a car and you know, pick a different automotive experience for the week.
Right.
Mike, it was good to see you. I have kept you an hour, so we are 57 minutes past our 3-minute show.
Oh, no.
Thank you for being on. I'm sorry we missed the other guys, and the other guys, you know who you are. Please be on another time. This has been, you probably cost me a pocket full of money because I'm about to talk myself into spending too much. But
I'm all for it.
yeah, that's the real problem with budgeting, right? Is once you budget money and like you actually save up money and have it in your hand, it's then hard to say you don't want to spend the money.
Yes, you've got it there to get rid of. That was
I
the
mean,
whole purpose.
that was the purpose of this money, is to spend on that.
Yes.
So yeah, so that's going to be a tricky conversation. We may have to have Car Buyers Anonymous on CaddyInfo one night. Hi, my name is Bruce. I spend too much money on cars.
I'm glad I can help you spend your money, because you know it's better to spend yours than mine.
What's the reverse of Car Buyers Anonymous, where car buyer encouragement or car buyer codependent?
Yeah.
Car buyer addiction group. So thanks for being on, Mike. It's good to see you. Anything else you wanted to share before we wrap up?
No. Good to see you too, Bruce. I hope
Always
more
good to see
people
you.
start getting on here.
Yep. And if you want to be on the show with us, contact me any of the multiple ways, and I will explain to you, and we'll get you set up. And if you are penniless and poor but a Cadillac fan, I will send you a camera so that you can participate. But you'd have to actually then participate. So there's kind of a trade there. Thanks, Mike. Hold on, I'll hit stop broadcast.